David Wade and Kerry Conley, mornings on WBZ News.
Now at noon, police on the hunt for a man sucker punching people, including a recent attack right in Cambridge.
Next up, this storm right here moves in tomorrow, and some spots will pick up to a half a foot.
Red Sox pitchers and catchers hold their first formal practice today, but one pitcher will not be taking the field.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at Noon starts right now.
Some nice sunshine and not snow as we give you a live look at the city of Boston, and we're going to have to enjoy it for now. It will not last for long.
Yeah, we have a look at the radar right now, and what you see out in the Midwest is headed our way. Snow will make a mess of tomorrow's commute. And a good afternoon to you. I'm David Wade.
Good afternoon. I'm Paula Evans. So we're still cleaning up from Saturday's storm, and another one is on the way. Meteorologist Todd Deppner has his eye on the storm. The timing tomorrow is going to be interesting.
Yes, tomorrow evening's commute looks very dicey, slippery, slushy, and snow-covered roadways expected. No rest around here. You put your guard down, you get burned. Another winter storm watch is up for towns to the north and west of Boston, on up into southern New Hampshire and southern parts of Maine as well for tomorrow through the midday hours into tomorrow evening. The storm is still back here in the Midwest, just came through Minneapolis with several inches of snow, making a mess now in Chicago and marching east. It won't have the opportunity to collect moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. So where it lacks in the moisture category, it's actually going to make up for it in the energy category. There's a lot of energy associated with this storm system. So we'll get a solid thumping of snow tomorrow afternoon. I expect the snow to begin by midday and then last through the evening commute, finally lifting on out of here late in the evening hours. In fact, there still could be some flurries hanging around in Essex County, seacoast New Hampshire, coastal Maine through about midnight tomorrow night. Now, out ahead of the storm, there will be a flow of warm air coming up from the south and east. And during the storm, snow will change over to rain in southeastern Mass. So we're only looking at a coating to an inch here, and roadways during the evening commute will primarily be just wet. But 1 to 3 inches up to about Boston. It's really north and west of the city where we're talking a little bit more. 3 to 5 inches with some isolated 6-inch amounts up near seacoast New Hampshire and Rockingham County. You cross over the bridge, the Piscataqua River Bridge into York County, Maine. There could also be 6 inches there. We'll have a more detailed look at the storm coming up in a few minutes. David, back to you.
All right, Todd, I appreciate it. Thank you. Right now, crews are still scrambling to get the power back on after this weekend's storm before the next round hits tomorrow. Several hundred homes are still without power down on the Cape. Another few hundred are still offline in southern New Hampshire. Meantime, another big problem, a salt shortage. The mayor of Gloucester telling us that she scraped together enough salt to treat the roads on Saturday, but up and down the East Coast communities are in trouble with that. Christina Hager will have that live report coming up at 5 this afternoon. And with another storm on the way, stay with WBZ and CBSBoston.com for updated forecasts, all the travel conditions, delays, and cancellations. Paula?
Well, David, a violent attack in Cambridge that was caught on camera. A man just punched another on Mass Ave Saturday afternoon, and then he goes to get help. Police are now looking for that man who took off. WBZ's Jim Smith is live for us in Cambridge with the update on this story. Jim?
Hi, Paula. As it turns out, this was actually a series of attacks, very frightening attacks in broad daylight on Saturday afternoon here on busy Mass Ave in Cambridge. And to make matters worse, there appear to be multiple victims.
With all his strength, punches him.
A frightening, unprovoked attack, one of several apparently random assaults here in the 900 block of Mass Ave in Cambridge. This video shows one of those attacks. You can see the suspect sucker punching the victim in the head right after he left Bow Concept Furniture. The store owner says he actually helped 2 different victims.
We ran out to help him, brought him inside. This guy had a bruised ear and cheekbone. He was going ballistic. Then the previous victim came in. We helped him too. He had a big fat lip.
Minutes earlier, the suspect had apparently been inside the Garden at the Cellar restaurant, where he allegedly tried to punch the chef, Brandon Arms.
Brandon was out here, and he took a swing at him, and Brandon shoved him away. They started chasing him. He ran a little faster. I believe he chased him that way.
According to the police report, one witness heard the attacker say, "Oh, you think that's funny," right before the assault. The suspect is still on the loose.
It's disturbing. You're going about your business. I think it's cowardly because you're just walking down the street and someone hits you from behind.
Police do not believe that this was an example of the so-called knockout game, where people intentionally commit assaults, intentionally videotape them, and put them online. Instead, they believe this suspect is either mentally disturbed or has substance abuse issues. Again, no arrest yet. In Cambridge, Jim Smith, WBZ News. Paula and David, back to you.
All right, Jim, thank you. And new at noontime, take a look at this piece of video as Boston police are hoping that this will lead to a break in the case of a sexual assault in the North End. This guy on that shot right there, that's who police want to talk to after a woman says she was attacked as she was unlocking the door to her building. WBZ's Michelle Roberts is live in the North End with the very latest on that search. Michelle?
Well, David, police believe this is an isolated event, but that is certainly no comfort to the people who live here in the North End. Right now, the police's best chance at catching this guy is that video from the surveillance camera. Women in the North End are on alert after a weekend assault.
Yeah, just have my keys out before I get to the apartment, not try to linger at the door. I live on a street that's really lit, so that's lucky.
Early Saturday morning, police say a woman in her 20s was sexually assaulted. She was going into her apartment building on Unity Street when a man pushed his way into the foyer. The victim told police that the man snapped a picture of her on his cell phone before he took off.
Yeah, it was shocking to hear, not good, you know? So, hopefully it gets resolved quickly.
Police are hoping someone will recognize this man. He was caught on a surveillance camera. He's not being called a suspect, but may have information about the incident. Women who live in this neighborhood are keeping their eyes open for anything unusual.
There was somebody walking down the street behind me, and I know I kept turning and looking behind me because I was by myself, and it's like when you're going into your apartment at night, it's something you're always looking out for.
The victim described her attacker as a white man in his 20s. He was wearing a dark pea coat and a hat. She said he had short spiked blonde hair, blue eyes, and possibly freckles. Well, the girls in the story had some good advice. Make sure you keep your keys in your hand and look around, look people in the eye, and of course take those earbuds out of your ears, especially at night. Reporting live in the North End, I'm Michelle Roberts. Paula and David, back to you.
Thanks, Michelle. Also happening today, Red Sox pitchers and catchers are holding their first formal workout down in Fort Myers.
And one Boston pitcher will not be on the mound after making a rather surprising announcement. Ryan Dempster saying he's not physically or mentally ready to do his job.
We were there for each other, I think, as much on the field as we were off the field. And in so many different ways, you know, a lot of great memories, a lot of fun. Played 16 years in the big leagues and never been around a team like that, so it's pretty incredible.
$15 million on the table to walk away. WBZ's Dan Roach, by the way, is with the Sox down in Fort Myers. He'll have live reports all week long.
We have a developing story involving a hijacked plane out of Ethiopia. This Ethiopian Airlines jet is safely on the ground. The police say the co-pilot locked himself in the cockpit and threatened to crash the plane. Passengers on board say the oxygen masks came down. The pilot tried to break down the door. The plane right now was on its way to Rome. The co-pilot said he was seeking asylum in Switzerland. He landed the plane in Geneva, then climbed out of the cockpit via a rope. He is now in police custody. Well, family members are vowing to continue their efforts to try to build a memorial to the 100 people who were killed in a fire at the Rhode Island nightclub, the Station nightclub, 11 years ago. Survivors, relatives, and friends gathered at Warwick City Hall yesterday to mark the anniversary of the deadly fire. The remembrance is usually held at the site in West Warwick, but that is closed while a memorial is under construction.
It'll be so nice to have a beautiful, beautiful place to come and visit with my son and his friends.
The group has hired a fundraiser to help them come up with the $1.4 million needed to build and maintain the planned memorial. Well, when we come back, an admission from former neighborhood watchman George Zimmerman.
Coming up, what he says he shouldn't have done the night that he killed Trayvon Martin.
Also ahead, a WBZ exclusive, a special tribute to marathon survivors through ink, with a local photographer capturing it all.
Also ahead, a mom delivering triplets gets a huge surprise from her doctor.
When winter storms hit New England, no one covers them quite like WBZ.
WBZ Accuweather team has had this storm covered.
It's just been steady snow since we rolled up here.
Some rates just over an inch per hour.
Starting to get some new totals in for you.
A half foot
foot on the ground here in Government Center.
Let's take a live look from Mobile 4 right now. Governor Patrick on the phone.
You're on Twitter, Facebook, in our chat room, on our website.
Plus doing all the radio stations in town.
You're all over.
When winter's at its worst, we're here for you. WBZ Accuweather.
Let's face it, it's been a harsh winter here in Boston and throughout New England, and we get to stay on the inside a lot of the time. Unfortunately, those open-faced gutters aren't so lucky. Eliminate the worries of those old gutters falling off in the wintertime with the ice and snow. Look at Leaf Guard. We attach it to the fascia using our patented hanger system with screws, not nails. It's not coming down, guaranteed. Now let's talk about heated cables. Heated cables for your gutters are your home's best defense against the dangers of icicles. And call in now to take advantage of our special promotion. We want 50 homeowners to get 60% off labor, interest-free financing, and a $200 gas card with purchase.
Hey Ron, folks are calling in for winter savings on Leaf Guard. Remember, it's the only one that's clog-free guaranteed. If for some reason your Leaf Guard system ever clogs, we'll come clean it out for free. That's a guarantee.
Call now and you'll receive heated cables with the purchase of Leaf Guard. Be one of the first 50 homeowners to get these winter savings. 1-800-GUTTERS-LEAF Guard.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Luna.
With Luna, buy one room of flooring, get all other rooms of product for just $50 each. 877-241 Luna.
This portion of WBZ News is brought to you by Regan Ford of Haverhill.
Well, new at noon today, George Zimmerman is opening up about the night that he killed Florida teenager Trayvon Martin. Zimmerman maintains that he acted in self-defense. In a sit-down interview with CNN, Zimmerman says he shouldn't have gone out that night.
If you could go back, do it again, you had said you would have stayed home?
I would have stayed home.
So that both of you would still be alive today?
That's a presumption I can't make. I don't know what would have happened. I could have gotten in a car accident when I left, you know.
But you wouldn't have wound up killing Trayvon Martin if you had your way.
He probably wouldn't have ended up attacking me.
The Department of Justice is now conducting a civil rights investigation. Meanwhile, he says he has apologized to the Martin family and would like to apologize again.
Well, now to a WBZ exclusive. A very unique effort underway to document the impact of the marathon bombings as we move closer to the one-year mark. Christopher Paget of Salem is photographing dozens of survivors, runners, and first responders who have all had tattoos in memory of the bombings. Among them, transit officer Dick Donahue, who was wounded in a shootout with the suspects.
I think that the events last April definitely touched some people on some profound levels, and they wanted to kind of conceptualize their feelings.
I think everybody in some way, shape, or form did their version of bleeding, did their version of hurting. Just the people that I happen to be getting actually literally did.
Paget's photos go on display on April 3rd. He's also publishing a book of his work, and some of the proceeds from the book sales will go to Spalding Rehab Hospital, where many of the survivors were covered, including Officer Donahue. And I have to say, doesn't he look great?
He does look great. It seems like it's going to be a powerful exhibit, too.
It is.
Alarming new research today on bullying.
Now, coming up, the effects that can linger for years, even after the bullying ends.
Also ahead, wardrobe malfunction. Olympian has a bit of a problem fitting into his suit.
And we're starting this week very cold. We're going to finish very warm. But to get to this warmth right here, we have to get through another storm. Several inches expected. My timeline and my detailed map on amounts is coming up after the break, so stay with us.
I hit him, man.
And when you hit him, you broke his jaw.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was wired shut.
Next Judge GD.
Today at 4 on WBZ-TV.
Tonight, some people have family issues.
I even gave your batty great Aunt Ida a foot massage.
Yeah, I don't really have a great Aunt Ida. Some have daddy issues.
My dad would win in a fight.
I'm marrying into this family.
Isn't it time you had? Wait for it. How I Met Your Mother issues.
I hope Marshall gets here if he's somewhere in Wisconsin in a rental car.
Hurts?
It hurts a little, but I'm not going to cry about it.
How I Met Your Mother.
We've been doing that all afternoon.
CBS tonight.
Some say this has been one of the harshest winters in over 30 years here in Boston and throughout New England. And you don't want to have to worry about those old open-faced gutters. That's why you call us here at Minuteman Leaf Guard. First of all, for heating cables to keep your gutters free of ice forever. Be one of 50 homeowners to get 60% off labor, a $200 gas card as a bonus with purchase, and if you call during this program, free heating cables to keep your gutters free of ice forever. 1-800-GUTTERS, Minuteman Leaf Guard. Call about our winter sale and bonus today.
weather outside is dreadful. The damage to your vehicle's floors can be frightful, unless you have WeatherTech floor liners. WeatherTech liners are laser measured to custom fit and protect your specific make and model. Front, back, even up the sides. Dirt and spills stay in the liner until you wash them away. Order your WeatherTech floor liners at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. Complete protection, completely American made. Order your WeatherTech protection today at WeatherTech.com.
When I was a young lawyer, the Boston Herald named me the $1 Million Man. Since then, there have been many memorable verdicts and meetings with you. I've met you in your kitchens after a personal loss, at the courthouse after successful verdicts. I have met you when you've been injured due to no fault of your own. I have taken this journey to justice with you, the people of Boston, my neighbors, my friends. Thank you for trusting me. The Kylie Law Group. Justice for you.
Some are novices, some are triathletes, some ride for their family and friends, and some ride for themselves, but they all ride for a cause. Be a part of the fight against cancer at the 35th Pan Mass Challenge. 12 routes through 46 towns across Massachusetts. Join us in the effort to raise $40 million for research and patient care at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. The Pan Mass Challenge, August 2nd and 3rd. For more information, go to cbsboston.com/PMC.
This portion of WBZ News is brought to you by the New England Home Show.
The big storms that have recently hit several states are leading to some big discounts at car dealerships. The wintry weather in January and February slowed showroom traffic and sales, so automakers are cutting prices to boost business. Ford and GM are offering incentives on their pickups. Honda and Toyota also discounting many of their popular mid-size sedans. So there's a little upside to all the snow.
Just make sure you buy all-wheel drive, right, Todd?
Need around here. Gotta upgrade my vehicle. It only has the front wheel stuff. All right, another storm on the way. The cold is in place for this developing winter storm. Temps are in the mid-20s right now. 25 Boston, 20 Worcester, and it's still breezy, so our wind chills in a few towns are in the single digits. It feels like 9 in Lawrence, 5 in Worcester, 12 in Boston. Harsh cold with us right now. The wind will settle down later tonight as the clouds increase. We're still looking at some very cold overnight lows, generally around 15 degrees or so. Boston's low closer to 20 degrees. Hey, we get a snow-free Tuesday morning commute. No snowflakes at all. In fact, it may actually look pretty bright on the horizon as the sun comes up for a nice sunrise. But then the snow breaks out midday, and it's snowing moderately, if not heavily, in a few spots for a few minutes during the evening commute, making for a very slow and slippery one. The storm system is well off to our west. Out here in the Midwest, several inches of snow for Chicago, and then it heads to the east and cuts across the northern states. I don't expect it here until midday. Actually, the timing has been pushed back by a few hours. Earlier this morning, it was looking like 9 or 10 o'clock. Now it's looking like closer to noon. But then it's steady snow from 3 o'clock to 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, and some of those snow bands will be fairly intense. Thankfully, it's a school vacation week. There aren't going to be tons of cars on the roads for the evening commute, so that's the only saving grace. Otherwise, it is going to be very sloppy, very, very messy. There'll be a flow of warmth coming up from the south out ahead of the storm and during the storm, so that'll cut snow amounts down here in southeastern Mass, just a coating to an inch, probably going to rain too in the evening. 1 to 3 inches up to Boston, and then north and west of Boston, it's 3 to 5 inches, with the chance to see an isolated 6-inch amount somewhere up here in Rockingham County, New Hampshire, including the seacoast. And also as you cross over the bridge into Kittery, Maine, the Piscataqua River Bridge, up into York County, Kennebunk, Saco area, Old Orchard Beach, you can get about 6 inches of snow too. Ice scale, just a 1 here in southeastern Mass. That's low impact, 1 to 3 inches of snow, and it'll be wet up roads for the evening commute. But everywhere else, it's a 2. And again, sloppy and slow for the evening with 3 to 6 inches of snow expected. Give yourself extra time driving around tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening until about 8 o'clock or so in the evening. Here's my AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Sunshine today with a high near 30. The breeze will settle down a little bit. And then more snow tomorrow, most of it in the afternoon, several inches expected. And then we start to turn the corner a bit. It's going to get a lot warmer here. Mid-40s on Wednesday, mid-40s on Thursday. Wednesday will feature some showers in the afternoon, sunshine for Thursday, and then some more showers on Friday. But look at those temps, mid-50s, guys. It's really going to start to warm up, and it'll feel like spring as we hit the second half of the week.
Plenty of slushing and sliding around once in the 50s. Todd, thanks. On Health Watch today, nearly 1 out of every 100 babies born here in the U.S. is now conceived using fertility techniques. More than 61,000 babies were born through in vitro fertilization last year, and that's a record. And 2,000 more babies than in 2012. A new study in the journal Pediatrics shows that bullying can have long-lasting effects. Researchers surveyed 4,000 children, and they say kids suffer from depression and low self-worth years after the bullying has stopped.
In today's Tony's Table, Tony and Stephanie make eggplant pasta and show us how to pick the perfect basil to make the dish complete.
All right, eggplant and beautiful basil.
And pasta. I mean, now that is a great combination. Very simple and always delicious.
And just a little bit of garlic and extra virgin olive oil.
Well, I mean, that goes without saying. Come on, Dad.
A quick tip on basil right now when you buy it, just like this. Nice and green all the way around. Very important. Free from any yellowing whatsoever, and it's got to smell just wonderful. Feel nice and fresh. When you bring it home, store it in a cool, dry place, but don't store it in the refrigerator, otherwise it'll turn black.
And also, when you're cooking with basil, you always say never use a knife. You want to rip it with your hands. Otherwise, the knife gets all those delicious oils, and you don't want that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
So here now we have the eggplant sauteing up in some extra virgin olive oil. Now with eggplant, it's always going to soak in a lot of oil. So you put it in the hot oil. That'll avoid a little bit of it, and it'll give it a nice crisp on the outside.
All right, good tip, great tip. You're loaded with tips all the time, Stephanie. I got to give you that. A lot of tips.
Make a tip jar.
Is that enough basil?
That's perfect enough.
How much? Come on.
Okay.
Oh, it smells so good. Now for the pasta, with just a little bit of pasta water up to it. That's it.
Okay, mix that in.
And now we're going to season this. Some pepper.
Again, with the oil right here and the basil, I've just been infusing with the oil. That's all you need as a sauce.
Look how nice this looks.
Just need to
and just a little bit of parsley. No tomatoes on this, huh?
No tomatoes.
Beautiful.
That's all you
What do
need
you
to do.
think?
I think it's perfect.
I don't have any red pepper flakes, but I don't think this needs it.
I don't think it does either. You know, sometimes just nice, simple, and hearty.
There we go.
Warms up the whole kitchen.
And so simple to make.
Love it.
Look at that little pyramid of pasta and eggplant and basil. Thank you, Bella.
Great colors.
Beautiful colors. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
Well, fighting crime with technology, that's the premise of the new CBS hit show Intelligence, starring Mark Heldenberger from CSI and Lost's Josh Holloway. The show focuses on the fictional cyber terrorism unit and Gabriel, a man who has a computer chip in his head.
Because there's an enormous amount of action, assignments that take the team to various parts of the world.
I need to go to Zurich.
No, you need to go to Seattle.
Seattle.
Some involving pandemic viruses, an ingestible explosive that's undetectable.
Well, one of the cool things you can do is facial recognition. So if you'll just basically look at you and pull up any stats on you that were ever recorded anywhere. So it's easy to know who the good guys are and the bad guys are.
You can watch an all-new episode of Intelligence tonight at 10 right here on WBZ-TV. Well, talk about one woman getting the surprise of a lifetime in the delivery room.
The extra set of feet that the doctor saw when he delivered her multiples. That's coming up.
Tony Tantillo, brought to you by Colavita, America's #1 selling Italian extra virgin olive oil. Feeling trapped in your job? Longing for a new opportunity? With a big change in the job market, it may finally be time to break free.
The economy seems like it's turning around.
We're seeing some of the positions come back. We haven't seen in a while.
Why this might be the right year to switch jobs. Tuesday on WBZ News at 11.
Take a look at Minuteman Leaf Guard's heating cables to keep your gutters free of ice all the time. You know, here at Minuteman Leaf Guard, we tell you something, we're going to back it up. We offer you a lifetime warranty that's transferable. All of our installers are employees of the company. And as a company, we've been in business almost 67 years. The Leaf Guard system is attached to the fascia. We guarantee it's not coming down. You've seen it with the open face gutters. They pop right off in the ice and snow. We want 50 homeowners to get our winter sale, 60% off labor, interest-free financing, and a $200 gas card with purchase.
Right down the line from Burlington to Belmont and all the way down to Braintree, folks all over the Boston area have called for Leaf Guard. And now you can have Leaf Guard installed and take advantage of winter savings.
And you get free heating cables from Minuteman Leaf Guard if you call during this program. Last chance to get the bonus. We'll keep your gutters free of ice all the time. 1-800-GUTTERS Leaf Guard. Get it and forget it, but don't forget to call.
They say you are what you eat. Well, at Purdue, we say you are what you eats, which is why we feed our chickens a 100% vegetarian diet, including corn, soybeans, and marigolds, without any added hormones or steroids. And unlike a lot of other companies, we never use animal byproducts like blood and bone meal, because we believe that's what it takes to bring your family a tastier, more tender chicken. Purdue, we believe in a better chicken.
Sleepy's President's Day sale is almost over, with half off practically every mattress in the store. Get Beauty Rest Queen sets starting at just $3.99, only at Sleepy's, the mattress professionals, making the world a better place to sleep.
Unpredictable Leah Remini, plus about last night's star Joy Bryant. It's Super Bowl champion Richard Sherman's surprise for some special super fans.
What would you say to him?
Next spring.
Tomorrow at 9 on WBZ.
All new Dr. Phil. A daughter claims memories of sex abuse and murder.
This portion of WBZ News is brought to you by BMW of Peabody.
Well, this was an embarrassing moment for a Canadian bobsledder. Yet a little wardrobe malfunction. Take a look. Christopher Spring's stomach came ripping through his jumpsuit. The team posted the picture on Twitter with the hashtag #PowerBelly. Luckily for him, this did not happen during the competition.
You can tell he's such a good sport about it. Having them tweet out that picture.
There's a lot out there.
Well, most students learn lessons at school. That's what we did. And then do homework at night to reinforce it. But what would happen if you flipped things around? Coming up at 5 in our Eye on Education series, we take you to a flipped classroom where teachers are seeing some incredible results.
Now, if 3 is a crowd, then what is 4?
Well, for a new mother in Mississippi, it was the surprise of a lifetime. She thought she was having triplets, and so did her doctors. But during delivery, look at that. They were shocked to see a 4th little girl was there. Doctors say somehow she managed to stay hidden throughout numerous ultrasounds. The identical quadruplets were born about 13 weeks early, but the good news is all 4 girls are doing well. And it'll be interesting to see if she's that shy, quiet one, always staying in the background throughout her whole life.
It's amazing with all the ultrasounds that you have, especially if you're having multiples, that you didn't hear an extra heartbeat or see an extra foot somewhere.
Might lose track.
I guess so.
So as you were saying, Todd, it is good for tomorrow afternoon. It's school vacation week. At least the traffic volume will be way down.
Yeah, otherwise it would be an absolute mess of an evening commute. It's still going to be very slow for folks that do have to work or do have to get places tomorrow afternoon. We'll have several inches, 3 to 6 inches north of Boston and 1 to 3 south, and it all comes in tomorrow afternoon.
Todd, thank you.
Thank you. Be sure to join us for our next newscast today at 5.
Enjoy your Monday afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.